Thanks for joining us. It is Friday, July 29th here in Korea. Live from Seoul, I'm Han Da-eun. 6 North Koreans who were responsible for helping 13 North Koreans defect to South Korea in April are set to have been executed. This comes on the heels of reports about Pyongyang's use of forced labor overseas to earn hard currency for the regime. Kwon So-ah starts us off.
6 people who were in charge of a mass defection from China to South Korea have reportedly been publicly executed on an order from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The news was reported on Friday by Seoul-based Yonhap News Agency based on a phone interview with the head of the South Korean abductees family union, Choi Sung-yong. He said that sources who regularly travel between China and Pyongyang said that those responsible were executed on May 5th, with around 80 officials and 100 families in attendance. 13 North Koreans who worked at a North Korean restaurant in China fled to South Korea in April, while another 3 fled from a different restaurant at the end of May. In related news, according to reports Thursday, 4 officials, including diplomats and a high-ranking military official, defected during a business trip and are currently seeking asylum. If confirmed, it'll be the first defection from the North Korean military. Kwon So-ah, ARIRANG News.
Korea's output across all industries has risen for a second straight month. Statistics Korea says industrial production inched up 0.6% in June from the previous month. The agency says the June figure was led by stronger output in the services sector, which rose 1% from the month before. Retail sales also rose 1% in the same period, while production in the manufacturing sector fell 0.2% on month. After dipping in April, the output figure turned around in May, posting its biggest rise in 15 months. In France, the second culprit behind an ISIS-linked attack on a church that left a priest dead was a teenager reportedly identified by security services as a potential security threat. 19-year-old Abdel Malik Petitjean was identified following DNA testing. Petitjean and accomplice Adel Kermish, also 19, targeted the church north of Paris during a morning mass. A police source told Reuters that security services had opened a special file on Petitjean on June 29th amid suspicions he had been radicalized. The government has said there are about 10,500 people with so-called S-files related to potential jihadist activities in France. The accomplice, Kermish, was not only known to security services, but was also ordered to wear an electronic bracelet. In Brazil, a week ahead of the Olympics, a Brazilian man has been arrested on terrorism charges after he posted comments online about the Islamic State militant group. 28-year-old Shaed Kalaun, a Brazilian citizen of Lebanese descent, was taken overnight to Ari Franco prison in Rio and arrested for having posted comments on Islamic State, according to his lawyer. Officials gave little detail about the arrest, and the Justice Department said only that the arrest was made under anti-terrorism laws and that the indictment remains sealed. Separately, Brazilian federal police and the country's intelligence agency are searching for an Iranian man who is suspected of plotting terror attacks. These new developments come a week after 12 men were arrested on accusations of forming a cell to discuss potential attacks at the time of the Rio Olympics and swearing loyalty to the Islamic State. An international team of researchers has developed an artificial version of the human midbrain using stem cells. Their creation will allow for more extensive research and drug testing and could have broad treatment implications, especially for degenerative disorders involving the motor system. Our Park Jong-ho explains.
The breakthrough could eventually be life-altering news for patients of Parkinson's disease. The leading degenerative disorder of the central nervous system is a condition stemming from the midbrain, which is in charge of motor functions that control auditory and eye movements, vision, and body movements. The midbrain contains special neurons that produce dopamine, and the disease develops when the number of neurons decreases. With the breakthrough, scientists have created a miniature version of the midbrain, which they hope will shed light on exactly how Parkinson's evolves. and lead to a cure for it and other aging-related brain diseases. While miniature versions of the brain have been developed before, this one is the first of its kind. It is a three-dimensional miniature with tissues that were grown in a laboratory using stem cells cultivated from human blood, and it can be used in a variety of drug tests instead of in experiments on actual patients. The medical community is abuzz about the possibilities for research and treatment the breakthrough will have. The joint study was conducted by an international team led by Professor Shan Jie from Duke NUS Medical School and A-STAR's Genome Institute of Singapore. Their findings were published this month in the journal Cell Stem Cell. Park Jong-hong, ARIRANG News.
Korea's peak summer vacation season starts today, which means that highways and airports will be packed with travelers over the weekend. Over 190,000 travelers are expected to pass through Incheon International Airport on Sunday, 2,000 more than the previous daily record set 1 week ago. For vacationers who are driving, Yeongdong Expressway is expected to see extreme congestion. The route connects Seoul to the eastern and western coasts, so travelers heading in that direction should look into using national routes 31, 38, or 42. Those heading down south on the Gyeongbu Expressway, which connects the capital city and Busan, can potentially avoid the initial Seoul traffic by getting on the Yongin-Seoul Expressway. That's all for now. Keep it tuned to ARIRANG for more domestic and global news updates throughout the day. Thank you for watching.